Good day, honorable judges, respected opponents, and dear audience. My name is Dilisa Rahmania Poranda, and as the opposition side, I strongly disagree with today's motion, which states that social service and skill training should be given to gambling offenders rather than imprisonment. With the development of technology, the cases of gambling have increased even more. Nowadays, people don't have to go to casinos in order to make money, but they can access casinos online, which would therefore trigger them into addiction way more easier. Based on the new reports, the global online market has roughly doubled since 2020 and continues growing at around 10 to 12% annually. Social service and skill training are often thought to be the solution for this addiction. However, the reality is that social service and skill training are only a preventive solution to not get into this field of addiction. So, to find a solution, we must put ourselves into the shoes of gambling offenders, as social service and skill training won't stop them from doing the crime again. Therefore, as the opposition side, I am strongly against today's motion that social service and skill training are more effective than imprisonment, as what we need is not a preventive solution but a repressive solution. Therefore, on this opportunity, I would like to state my arguments on why imprisonment is the repressive and best solution that we need to deal with gambling offenders. First of all, gambling could affect a wide range of people because gambling does not only cause addiction but is also connected with other crimes such as money laundering, loan sharks, cyber fraud, and even trafficking. For example, it was stated that Sarah Jane Kay, a California lawyer, stole $8.7 million from clients to gamble in Vegas. Therefore, this proves that gambling cases unknowingly connected with other effects is a crime and therefore cannot be saved by social service and skill training. This is why gambling must be connected with the law, as it can also affect other civilians negatively. Secondly, social service and skill training would never stop an addiction in gambling directly, as first of all, gambling offenders still have access to online activities, because even though they would be restricted by skill trainers to enter casinos, they still have the opportunity to do gambling behind the back of trainers through online gambling. Therefore, we believe that not a training solution is needed, but a physical solution through imprisonment, where they are restricted from freedom and so cannot continue their addiction. Third, imprisonment presents the liability of government to victims. For example, based on the Compass News, a case in 2024 in Riyadh shows that an online gambler pretending to be a courier successfully robbed an elderly woman. Therefore, trust and liability of the government is needed to ensure civilians their safety. This can only be done by restricting the freedom of these gamblers through imprisonment. And lastly, imprisonment is not only the restriction of freedom. The truth is, prisons already include social service and skill training, which means that prisons could affect gambling addictions stronger than fines and free social service. So, as the affirmative position, how would you, first of all, handle the incompetence of gamblers in skill training if they still resist them? Secondly, do you think that trainers would be able to control their patients in this development of technology? And most importantly, how do you want to create a better law if only a harmful action is taken to deal with these gamblers? In conclusion, a repressive solution is needed to handle with the incompetent addiction of gamblers, which is why we, as the opposition side, believe that imprisonment is the best solution, not only for gamblers themselves, but also for other civilians. Therefore, we are sure that bare social service and skill training is completely unnecessary if prisons already include these trainings and also physical restrictions. Thank you.